Katt Williams just insulted Kevin Hart for humiliating himself. And this is only the beginning. From named dropping all the sellouts to exposing who is forcing black celebrities to wear dresses, Katt is going after every black celebrity linked to Hollywood's humiliation rituals. Record release party for PD. There was a record number of releases on the bay, in the pool, on the floor, everywhere but the hose. But I want to be clear. Just because Kevin went to Diddy parties does not mean he did something wrong. The fact that he gets all quag when you bring it up, that means he did something wrong. Some of the biggest names in Hollywood got there by allegedly taking part in humiliation rituals. It's the same pattern every time a celebrity goes on stage and makes a fool of themselves. Next thing we know, that same celebrity is getting deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars. According to Katt Williams, this isn't a coincidence. In fact, there are no coincidences in Hollywood. Black celebrities in Hollywood are forced to go on stage in dresses to feminize and humiliate themselves. Things going on in the world, and that there are things that are bigger than just coincidence, and that a ritual is something that you do over and over and over again a certain way. You see what I'm saying? If part of the ritual is wearing a dress, then we should be able to look through entertainment and see all of these people being made to wear a dress. That's what a ritual is. You know what I mean? Like whether they're white or black, that doesn't matter. There's not other jobs where this is a requirement. Why is this so necessary? The first celebrity that Katt has been going to is Kevin Hart. And this is a beef that's been going on for the last 15 years. Kevin Hart and Katt Williams both entered into Hollywood around the same time, and allegedly, they were offered the same deal. Wear a dress and we'll make sure your career takes off. Katt Williams said no, and at first, so did Kevin Hart, who called it a boundary that he was never going to cross. Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, in the industry they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you wouldn't do, definitely haven't ran into them to put on the trust? You have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on the talk show this morning. I said no to that. Not that that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm look stupid. At the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. But next thing you know, just a few years later, Kevin Hart shows up on SNL wearing a dress. 9-year-old Oscar nominee Convention Wallace. Wow, 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 wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming. Right after this clip aired, Kevin's career really took off. Kevin Hart went from a rising comedian to one of the biggest names in Hollywood, landing major film roles, sold-out tours, and a long list of award nominations. Over the years, he's been nominated for multiple BET Awards, Teen Choice Awards, People's Choice Awards, and NAACP Image Awards. He claims that his decision to wear a dress was an artistic choice. Katt Williams thinks otherwise. Recent controversy online. I know you don't spend all your time online about Kevin Hart wearing a dress in a SNL skit, and Dave Chappelle spoke about that as a comedian. Black actors are always, being asked to wear dresses. Have you ran into that? And what do you think about that whole Illuminati theory that people could put out there about that? Well, thanks for that softball question. It's two answers. First of all, let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay. Well, I watched all of my friends throughout my entire life be able to dunk a basketball, but not me. So everybody can't do everything. So, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's House 1, 2, and 3. I've never seen Media in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying why we picking old poor little Kevin Hart because it was his turn next. Katt took it a step further in an interview with Shannon Sharpe. Katt Williams revealed he turned down movie roles because he refused to compromise his standards, then watched those same roles go to Kevin Hart. For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was just, can we take some of this step and fetch it out, and then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and going, oh yeah, no problem, and then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was and acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But yeah, it's interesting, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, again, I'm on the winning side of these decisions. Here's the thing. It wasn't just Katt Williams pointing out these humiliation rituals. Dave Chappelle mentioned it too, and he too stood on his standards and said no. He said that he had noticed the same pattern of black celebrities being forced to wear dresses, and he didn't get it. He was funny without the dress, and the audience was coming to see him laugh, not him being forced to cross-dress as a woman. He wasn't going to see his integrity for a few more dollars. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected. I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting like, why all these brothers going to wear a dress? This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin. Yeah, the movie's going good. So I walk in a trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. It's the writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen. They got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a pro and he put this dress on and Mud is pro. No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're a writer. So, why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. Huh? He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Burrow? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this Brokeback Mountain in here? So like wear the dress I want to wear, the dress I want to wear this dress. You know, I mean, this is, oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave, man. The producers comes, come on, David would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about all the comics that I've seen, man, you know, Strong Brothers, why they putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant. I'm not wearing the dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. How goddamn. How did you write the scene so fast? Saying no to these rules came at a price. However, Dave Chappelle was offered $50 million to wear a dress. But after he said no and walked away from the money, he was labeled as a drug addict and blackballed from the industry. This is why he left the US and disappeared. They have been pushing the satanic agenda for a while. The reality of the situation is that all of the major producers, directors, and executives are working together. They're all part of the same group, and if you say no to what they want, they're going to your career. But Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. And until we deal with that, until we deal with the fact that a devout Muslim who doesn't eat bacon was accused of being a crackhead, until we establish the fact that they said that he went to Africa to smoke when we know they don't have running water and food over there, when they don't have paved roads over there. You saying he flew past Chicago and Miami and LA and New York and Detroit. You saying he went past Cleveland and Fort Pierce, Florida, and he went past Okeechobee and Oakland. You saying he went to another country where they're not eating, right? You talking about somebody who has a wife and children, 5 children, and lives on a farm, doesn't live here in Hollywood. You saying you convince people that person, wow, was an insane kid and he hasn't been on movies and TV for 8 years. Is that correct? Some of us are against the Illuminati and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them and nobody likes them. End quote. We all love Dave Chappelle. Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us. But now it's not necessary for us to store up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung a million times. I didn't understand that they had to sting me a million times. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little more. This is why Kevin Hart and so many other black celebrities agree to these humiliating rituals. Allegedly, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was also a humiliation ritual. Will Smith's relationship with Jada has been a humiliation ritual from start to finish. The way Jada insults Will and publicly cheats on him is insane. Will Smith is one of the most respected actors in Hollywood, and Chris Rock is a legend in the field of comedy. For two of the biggest black names in Hollywood to be humiliated on the same night in front of millions of viewers isn't a random event. It was planned. Boulders come together, and you can't see Chris Rock winning at all. He's humiliated. If you were going to slap a comedian, he was the #1 to slap, head of the Coons. So slappable. And if you're going to slap him, you just need the greatest guy, the bestest guy, the one who's shown us him being on his best behavior since the 9s. That guy is the one that would have to slap him in order for the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing. See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you will be hearing who's losing money in all of these situations. It's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money when these rappers get killed. Not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew. Don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama. Only got to see her once a year and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reached $60 million in benefits. Wow. And they had some people from your city do it. Wow. I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses. But think about what you just said. That's extremely thoughtful and powerful. Katt has been calling Will Smith out for quite some time. Will was part of the elites for a long time, and Katt even saw him take part in Hollywood's secret parties. The more you humiliate yourself in Hollywood, the more your career grows. And that's exactly what Will Smith has been doing all this time. Everyone in Hollywood knew what kind of relationship he had with Jada, and why Jada was continuously making jokes about their marriage from day one. Katt said he saw celebrities line up on shuttle buses headed to Diddy's parties, and when these celebrities came back, they were acting completely different. To quickly answer your question and you to not say anything that would infringe legally. Yeah, a lot of people indeed do ask that, like, how do you know what goes on at the PD party if you weren't at the PE party, you know? Yeah. So, one of the jokes that I discussed on the tour is the fact that they would have these parties in the Hollywood Hills, and then they would have a parking lot where they would shuttle people up. So everybody would meet in this parking lot and they would send shuttles down to, these parties. And so I wasn't ever invited to the parties, but I was invited to the parking lot because I knew the people that ran the shuttle service. You knew them too, as it turned out. But, yeah, I would go to the parking lot and I would watch them all go up there. And, they would be thinking I'm coming later. I would just be on the car having a grand old time, smoking and laughing and watching everybody who's going. And yeah, so you can't tell me what goes on because 5 hours later I'm still in the parking lot when they come down. Man, just to see all them big time Hollywood men that I just watched go up there, they all come down off the shuttle and looking sad and nice, and all of them wearing Sean John and looking oily, and they all walk crazy like this, and their shoelaces were always untied. I don't know why the shoelaces were always untied, and then they would get in their car and they would drive off standing up. Big boy with your head after. Then we've got Chris Tucker, star of the Rush Hour franchise and arguably one of the most respected black actors in Hollywood. Katt used to respect Chris Tucker for standing on his principles. Chris said no to the biggest role in his career because he didn't want to promote a negative image of black men to kids. Unfortunately, Katt believes that same Chris Tucker is no longer here. He sold his integrity for a few more awards. This spoon in a way that can't really be quantified if I'm being honest with you. And, the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island. Chris Tucker. Oh, not Smokey. Oh, Lord. If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest. I don't care what you say. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional. Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday? Smokey. Smoking was all in smoking. There ain't no Friday without smoking. We all agree to that. And there's no next Friday without Friday. And there's no Friday after next without N. We talking about the road because you said that they don't. Here's the thing. Chris was allowed to make the decision. At the time that this is happening, Katt Williams is known for smoking weed. Willie Nelson is known for smoking weed. Snoop's known for smoking weed. But none of us is really known except Willie. And I'm saying Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that. He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Christmas. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that? No, me neither. During the recent release by the Department of Justice, photos of Chris Tucker and President Bill Clinton on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane came out. These photos showed Chris Tucker on the Lolita Express surrounded by young girls. Allegedly, Chris Tucker went to Africa on what was called a humanitarian mission with Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton, and Kevin Spacey by flying on Epstein's jet on September 2, 2002. Epstein was accused of recruiting a sea cave on this trip, and allegedly, it was this victim who gave the authorities Chris Tucker's name. You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you? Yeah, I did. We flew Bill Clinton and a lot of different, that was a humanitarian trip to Africa, and I met him on that trip because it was his plane. I didn't know who plane we was getting on, but it was a whole bunch of dignitary people. He was with a delegation, and yeah, I met him, and you don't know people what they do with their private lives. So you have to tell me this, Chris. You was on this private plane and you could tell that it was a private plane because they called it what, this Lolita Express? Oh yeah, it was a private plane. Yes. Oh yes. Wait a minute. You didn't never go to that island, did you? No. 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 I don't know where that thing got. No. Was enough. Hey, we was going to Africa to save lives. The next names that Katt Williams brought up were Ricky Smiley and Tyler Perry. Both have appeared on screen wearing dresses as part of comedy and character performances. For Ricky Smiley, it was the first Sunday. Tyler Perry, on the other hand, built an entire entertainment empire around his media character, an older black woman portrayed in dresses, wigs, and exaggerated comedic fashion. The media franchise became massively successful commercially, turning Tyler Perry into one of the most powerful figures in Hollywood. Films in the series generated hundreds of millions at the box office, while Perry himself received numerous industry awards. Were these awards for his acting or his humiliation? Everybody was Katt Williams and don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steven said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious. Not now then. He was so egregious that and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract. Why would you put that in your contract, Katt? That's where he's the believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women. And I believe that the best actor should be in the best role. Once you're under the control of the elites, they use you to trap other celebrities. According to Katt Williams, this network operates by using compromised stars as bait to lure in newcomers. These established figures, already bound by their own rituals, host or invite rising talent to exclusive gatherings, like the infamous parties hosted by Diddy. Once at these events, young celebrities are pressured into the same humiliation rituals or caught in compromising positions that can be used as leverage. This creates a cycle where everyone can be controlled. Everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys, knew what these extremists liked and provided it and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history, right? I was going to run some global power organization. I would try to co-opt every single leader, try to suck them in, offer support, bring them out to wherever I have my big-ass meetings, fly everybody in private jets, talk about the climate crisis. All organizations have to follow the same rules. Yeah, that's wild. Recruitment is an important facet of all life. We have to get some young global leaders. Well, understand, this is the only reason that we can talk about these big Illuminati-like entities at this period of time. It's just because of time, like they aged out, like you can't, right, get in new. So, everybody got decrepit over there, and they can't exchange, really. Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this one is only getting darker. And if you want more videos exposing what Hollywood doesn't want you to see, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next.